Hello everyone, it's Øyvind Martinsen here. In this video we're gonna do some Adobe Lightroom editing. And we're gonna start with this art picture. We have the foam in the water in a river stream. And the first thing I want to do with this picture is to convert it to black and white. And I click here on the black and white. If you want to be in the color mode, you can go here and click here. You see, now we are in the color mode and there is not much color here. So black and white is better. And the first thing I want to do is to increase the contrast, and I can do it here with this slider. I can drag it up here. The general contrast adjustment. And I can also adjust the blacks, drag it to the left. You see, the dark is coming in. Now we have a very good contrast. And the blacks is the tones in the left side of the histogram up here. So in this part of the histogram. In the center here we have the medium tones, and the right part is the highlighted tones. So, and we see we are almost there with this image. We can adjust the highlights a little bit up using the sliders in the tone curve. I can just go up, then increase the contrast between the dark and the white more. A little bit up on the lights. And then a little bit down on the darks. And a little bit more down on the shadows. There we go. These kind of images don't need sharpening, so we don't have to sharpen this because it's blurry anyway, and we want it to be blurry. What we see here, it's a lot of dust. Just gonna do a quick repetition. We can zoom in here, just click in the picture, and we see how to do some dust removal here. So it's a lot of dust. Do it just a quick adjustment here and there, and one there, and adjust the ring so it covers over the dust. There we go. There's more here, but I don't spend my time on doing that. Now we can press the L button 2 times on the computer, on the keyboard, and it darkens the area around the frame, and now we can see much better without distortion on the sides. So this is one image. A very simple development, but now we have a more powerful picture. I press the L button one more time, then we go back to the start. Let's jump to the next picture. And here is the palm leaves inside the cloud forest of La Amistad National Park in Panama. This is also an image that can be good in black and white. So I click here on the black and white. And we can do the same here. We can increase the general contrast by dragging this slider to the right. See, it's already better. And we can do the same here. I want to darken the blacks a little bit more. Look now what's happening. Oh, it's much stronger now. Yes, it's coming in. I like this. And now we go down here and we do the sharpening because this image is sharp. So we need to adjust the sharpening here. Go to 58. 1.1, and we do the masking, and remember to press the Option or Alt button and drag the slider. And the dark areas are areas that will not be sharpened because you don't need to sharpen blank surfaces and dark surfaces. So we go up to 40, it's okay. So I think we're there. What we can do is can add a little bit vignette. go down here on the right side here on the bottom under effects, and we drag the post-crop vignetting a little bit to the left, then get a little bit darker at the edges of the frame. Then I seduce the viewer to be inside the picture. Maybe a little bit more there. Yes, we have it. And I press the L button 2 times. And here we go. Now we have a much better frame and more arty picture with a nice contrast and good diagonal lines. And I press the L button one more time, and then we are back. And we jump to the next picture. And here is the picture where I move the camera during the exposure. And this is the method I use is that I rotate the camera, and at the same time I move the camera downwards and sideways, then get these cubic parabol forms. So I like this technique. It's a technique I developed, and maybe I am the first one who has done this. I haven't seen anyone else, but who knows? There are a lot of creative people out there, so at least I invented it for myself. But let's go ahead and develop it. So we're going to start on top here. I'm going to adjust the clarity a little bit up, and then the vibrance. The vibrance is a very intelligent way of saturate your colors, because they are pumping up the colors that are not so present in the image. I also see I can go up here and adjust the color temperature a little bit. I want a little bit warmer tone, so I drag the temperature slider a little bit to the right. And there we go. Now it's much better already, and I increase the general contrast. It's coming in much better. And sorry, this image doesn't need no sharpening, so we're gonna leave it as it is. The clarity, it's a tool that sharpens the medium tones. You can use that to soften the image like this, or to make it crisp like this. This is too much, and this is also too much, but in this case I want to just to make it a little bit more crispy. This was the original, a little bit more crispy up. And I want to go down and do some vignette here under effects, the post-crop vignetting, and I drag the slider to the left, then I darken the areas at the edges, so keep the viewer inside the frame there. And now we see this picture has a lot of colors, and it's a dream for color adjustment. So we can go to the HSL, which is the hue and the saturation and luminance. So I'm going to start with the luminance, where I'm going to adjust the light in each color. So I want to make the red a little bit lighter. So take it up. You see this is too much, and this is too little, but I want it a little bit up. Same with orange, a little bit up. And green, a little bit up with green. And let's see what happens with yellow. We have some yellow there. You can increase the contrast by lifting the yellow a little bit up. There we go. And then we go to saturation. We can work on each color. We're going to start with red, lift it a little bit up, Not too much like this, or this is too little. But you see, just want to add a little bit extra, close to, for example, the Fujichrome Velvia slide films we had in the old days, where we had a good color saturation. I'm gonna pump up the orange a little bit. It's already better, and the green. And then I'm gonna increase the overall exposure a little bit up. There. And the blacks a little bit to the left. Then we get a better contrast. You see here, this is too much. But you have to be careful a little bit just to add. And look up at the histogram up here now when I drag the black slider. You see the tones? When I drag to the left, is moving. The histogram is moving to the left. And the other way, it's moving to the right. So, I just want to add a little bit blacks to increase the contrast. Like this. And I'm going to fine tune the color temperature a little bit. I think a little bit warmer is better. So I'm gonna, this is too cold. I want it a little bit warmer. I think maybe there can be good. So, of course I have some dust on this image too, but I don't want to spend time doing that. You know how to remove that now. So let's keep it like this, and I'm gonna press the L button 2 times, then we can see the picture much better. Yes, we are there. I press the L button 1 more time and I go back. I'll go to the next. Oh, here we are inside the rainforest of Altos de Campana National Park in Panama. And I shot this picture with 24 to 70mm zoom, and I used the 70mm here. And I used aperture f22 to have depth of field. And this lens has a built-in macro function, so I can go very close to the image, to the subject, and then I can get very strong details, as I found on this leaf on the forest floor. So let's start. Let's see, we can do some warm up here. I want some little bit warmer tones, so drag the temperature to the right. You see what happened? A little bit warmer. Here's too cold, and here's a little bit warmer. I'm going to increase the general contrast. See here? It's already better. Just a little bit increase here. There are no standards for the amount of contrast. You have to look at each image because they are unique. Each image is unique, so you have to adjust according to the image, and of course according to what you want. Some people like softness, others like harder contrast. In this I want some more contrast to reveal this beautiful leaf. And then a little bit clarity. See, it also sharpens up the image in the medium tones. Go up to 25. And we want some vibrance. I go up to around 45, then get the colors in. You see, this is enough. You don't need any of the saturation here. If I do, it will be too much. Look here, this is too much. I want to be like this. It's more natural. And I can go down here to the detail, where I'm going to sharpen the image, and I drag it up to 58, 1 by 1. And the masking, press the option button, and the dark areas will not be sharpened. Drag it up to around 40. So it's the blank surfaces and dark areas, they will not be sharpened, because you don't need sharpening in those areas. And I want to add some vignette here too, so I go down to the effects and I increase the vignettes. Now it's better. So that was a quick development of this leaf. I think it's enough. We are there. I press the L button 2 times, then we can see the picture without noise on the sides. Yes, I like this. Press the L button 1 more time, and then we go to the next. Oh, this insect. It is in Altos de Campana National Park in Panama, and I've only seen this insect once. It's very nice colors, and it has this predator-like face, and it's probably not an insect you want to mess with if you are another insect. So, but it was harmless to us. So I want to start with the clarity. Drag it up to 25 and the vibrance up to 45, and then a little bit saturation. There we go. And we're going to increase the general contrast here like this. In this case I used a macro flash, and you see it's a little bit highlighted here on the sides, so a little bit of vignetting can be good. So I'm going to go down to the vignette. It's under the effects, and I drag the slider to the left. See what happens now. You see it's here. This is too much, this is too little. I want it to be darker at the edges, like this. You see, then if the picture is like this, your eyes is drawn to the edges, and if it's like this, your eye is drawn to the insect. It's a better way. And I'm gonna go up and sharpen to 58 1.1 and do the masking. Click the Option or the Alt button on the keyboard and drag the slider. The dark areas will not be sharpened. Go up to 40 around there. So very good. And I see I want to take down the light part here a little bit more, so I go to the brush tool, click on that, and I will adjust the exposure. So adjust the exposure down to 0.5. Then I go out in the frame and I can move the brush. I'm gonna paint over here and darken the areas a little bit at the edges here. Also here. Maybe this. This in the back. Maybe a little bit up here. Now we see the insects better. So I think it's okay. I'm gonna do some more here. I'm gonna make a new brush for this area. I think the other is okay, so I'm gonna new. I'm gonna do just a little bit more here. A little bit up here. It's a little bit too much, so I'm gonna adjust here the exposure, a little bit up. There. It's more balanced. And the reason the picture was more highlighted here was that the macro flash lit up this area because it was closer to the flash than the insect. So, and it was highlighted much more. So we can fine-tune that in Adobe Lightroom. And we close the brush tool by clicking on close here. And here we go. I think we are there. And a quick repetition on dust removal. See, we have some dust up here. I click here. Go to the spot removal tool. Click on that. Then we get the ring. We can adjust the ring by scrolling on the mouse or drag the slider here. So we're going to adjust it to the dust. Flip it up on this. And if you want to go over the whole picture, you see the navigator window here. This is the focus area I'm in now, the small frame here. And I can just click here and then I move through the image and see more dust here and another there. And I go up and click here. And you can go down. And you can go through the image. Here's more. I don't want to do that now because you know how to do that now. And I close the spot removal tool. I close it here. So now we are back. And let's see again. There we go. We are there. Very nice insect. It's some of the surprises we can have in the rainforest. And the next one is a lizard. It's in the rainforest of Panama, and at night time we were out looking for frogs, but sometimes we see other things. And let's start with the development. So I see with this image I want to crop it a little bit, not much. I want to go to the cropping tool. It's here and I click on it. I just want to drag it a little bit down. Go to the corner there, a little bit down there. Now it's a little bit more balanced. And you see, it's important to put your focus on the eye, because this is the contact point, contact point between you and the subject. So it's valid for all kinds of portraits of humans or animals or insects. Always have the eye sharp, then the rest can go blurry. And let's go. We increase the clarity, go up to 25, vibrance up to 45. We're going to warm it up, a little bit warmer temperature, then we get better colors. See there, a little bit warmer. And then we increase the general contrast, dragging the slider. Good. Gonna go down and sharpen. Up to 58.1 and do the masking. Press the Option or Alt button and drag. Now go up to around 40. So the dark areas here will not be sharpened, and the blank surfaces. There we go. And when I want some darker at the edges down there, so I can use the vignette tool and I can drag it in here. I can also adjust the midpoint, so it goes, you see here, goes further in. See, then the eye is drawn to this and not to the edges. Now we have a much better portrait. Here we can see reflections of my macro flash, the two flashes here, and it's reflected in the eye. And this was on a rainy night, so you see some water droplets. It was humid, but when it's raining in the rainforest, there are more activity amongst the amphibians, the frogs and lizards and other creatures. So it's photographically a good time to go out. So I think we're there with this image. So we're going to press the L button to view the final product. Very good. Press the L button one more time and we go back. Then we can go to the next. Oh, this is an iguana at the Coiba Island National Park in Panama. It's an island out in the Pacific coast, Pacific Sea. About a 2-hour boat ride from the shore. So, this is a juvenile green iguana. Look at the nice colors. This picture is begging for more contrast, and we're gonna do that now. So let's start. We do the clarity, go up to 25, increase the vibrance up to 45, lip it up on the saturation, not much, there, up to 3, increase the general contrast. Look here, now it's already much better. And you can go down to sharpen image to 58, 1.1, and the masking, press the Option or the Alt button and drag the slider. The dark areas will not be sharpened, so go up to 40. Here we go. And I want to add some vignette here too. Go down to Effects and the post-crop vignetting. Drag the slider to the left. See here, get darker in at the edges, and then the midpoint a little bit in. See here. Now we are drawn to this area and not so much at the edges. That's very good. And then we can, if I wanted to increase the contrast, for example, in only this area, or adjust anything else here, I can use the brush tool and I can set the exposures to 0, but I want to increase the contrast a little bit, just on the iguana, up to 10, and the clarity a little bit up 6 more. And if I want to adjust any of these other values, I can just adjust it by dragging the sliders and select the area with the brush. So you see the brush size here, and you see it's 2 rings. This small ring on the inside, everything that we adjust will have full effect inside that ring. But between the outer ring and the inner ring, there is a graduation. So outside the outer ring there will be no effect, and it will be a graduation from full effect inside the small ring to no effect outside the big ring. So we're going to adjust it a little bit down here. Now I'm going to just increase the contrast and clarity on the eye and the head and a little bit of the body here. You see that we have a more crispy and stronger image. Much better. And if I wanted to develop it further, and let's say I wanted to darken this white area a little bit, can go to New, then I just set the contrast to 0 by double clicking on it and the clarity to 0, but I want the highlights a little bit down, 3, and a little bit down on the exposure. So we're gonna adjust the brush a little bit down, a little bit smaller, and just paint over this little bit brighter area here. So just take it a little bit down. There. Then I close the brush tool by clicking here. And there we go. We have a picture, and I press the L button 2 times. Then we can see it Much better. Nice creature. Go to next. And this is a burning lips flower inside the rainforest, and this really need adjustments, so we need to develop it. And we can start here with the clarity to 25, the vibrance up to 45. We can increase the general contrast. Can go a little bit up there. I want to warm it up, a little bit warmer tones, so I go to the color temperature, drag it to the right. It's a little bit warmer there. Then we go down to the sharpening tool. It's on the detail. Sharpening, go up to 58, 1.1, and masking, go up to around 40. There we go. And we're gonna do the vignette here. I'm gonna go to the effects and darken the edges, so our eye is coming into the flower. Burning lips flower. Much better. And we're gonna take down the exposure a little bit down. This is taken in natural lighting. See, now we take the overall exposure down like this. Then we darken the area around here. I'm gonna lift this one a little bit up with the brush. So I click on the brush and then go to 0.12. Then I start paint. So I'm gonna just paint some areas here to lift it a little bit up. Slightly up. I can fine tune it here. This is the area I painted on. You see it here. So you can lift it and balance it there. Good. I close it. And now we have a better image. If I wanted to fine-tune the colors here, I could, for example, go to the HSL tool, the Hue, Saturation and Luminance tool. Let's say I wanted a lighter blue. I can go to Luminance and lift the blue, look here, or darken the blue. But in this case I don't want to do anything. So I think we are there already. So we're gonna double click the L. Then we have the frame, and we have developed the image.